It's been a good while since I made a video on unused content, mostly out of pure laziness, if I'm gonna be honest. But then I thought, why not do one on Final Fantasy 9, and here we are with that video. And I also did mention I really did enjoy Final Fantasy 9 in a previous video, and honestly that just ended up me looking on some stuff on the game. And what I've seen in terms of unused content, there isn't a lot, but it's still pretty interesting. And to start off, there was actually an unused face portrait and victory pose belonging to Senna. I will show these on screen now, and it makes sense why it was cut, since he only is in the party for a short amount of time at the start, and all the battles he's in actually ends up fading to black, so you never actually get to see these. Along with the portrait, you can't really enter the menus when he's in battle, so again, it makes sense why it never made it into the actual game. There were also some pre-rendered backgrounds that went unused, and one of them actually had an animation tied to it. The first one, and the one with the animation, is one of the hallways in Limblom Castle, and as you can see, the escalator is moving. I kind of wish they kept this just because it actually adds a bit more motion, and to me it looks very nice. My only guess to why it was cut is maybe the devs thought it was better static, which again is just my guess, and frankly that's the only thing I can think of. There's also another unused background, and this is actually a part of the fossil room map, and this one actually shows a detonator. The part of the map that's attached to is when you have to run away from Alma Dullahan. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but you know, it's part of that. And my guess is that during this part, the devs actually were planning to have the player blow up the part and then have a giant hole, but in the final product, the hole is already there. And I think having the detonator there would have been a bit cooler and add intensity to the moment, and that's again the best case scenario I can imagine, but I'm not really mad that it isn't there. There also is a title location that went unused, and this is for the Alexandra dungeon. I can't really guess why it didn't make it into the final game, but it's something that went unused, so I get to mention it. Another part of the game that went unused has to be a mini game where you actually go around getting balloons from a group of girls that were at the start of the game. You end up getting the balloons and giving them to a boy at the end of it, and this actually happens when you return to Alexandra in Disc 3. The minigame does exist in full, and you can actually hack it into the game. I will link a video where I actually found this in the description, so if you actually want to just see it play out, you can. There are also some unused scenes and dialogue that went unused, and these ones I don't really know why they are not in the final product. Don't have any issues when you actually do hack them in the game, and they all pretty seamless, so again, it's just really weird to why it was cut. But there actually is a conversation that I understand to why it was cut, and you do talk to Sid in this too, and he actually gives you the world map there. I can see why it was cut because Blank already gave you the world map in Disc 1, so again, at least that I understand. There are some other ones that are related to active time events, and one of them is called the Treetop of Claire, where Freya is actually talking to the King of Burmishia, and another one is called Steiner's Bitterness, where this one's near the start of the game when, you know, he's with Zidane and everyone else, and he's just really mad at the current situation. If you want to see all the scenes in full, check out the video I linked in the description. There's also an unused option at the save mode was out in the game, which shows that you can actually swap your party members. This was used in some parts in the game, like in Disc 3 and at the very end of the game, but not with the Muggles. I'm guessing they cut this because, you know, more often than not, you don't have your full party for chunks of the game, so I'm guessing that's why it was scrapped. There are also some cut boss fights, and that's actually related to the Guardians. You only end up fighting the Earth Guardian, and the other three are beaten in cutscenes. What I can find, there wasn't really any reason, but my guess is that it might have been too hard for the player, since you do fight them in teams of 2, and both Garnet and Eiko all teamed up together, so obviously, you know, they can't really deal a lot of damage other than summons, so that battle would have taken way too long. And characters like Amaranth and Freya, they can't heal, because I know Amaranth has like a skill that can heal HP and MP, and Freya, I believe she has a passive skill that can heal, but they're not the greatest, and Vivi and Steiner straight up can't heal without items. And I know Quina doesn't have the best healing skill, but it's still similar to Amber and Freya in that case. But at least that was my guess to why they were cut. They also do have design artwork and deleted locations, the bosses that is, so again, they really did seem like they just planned this out fully, but then scrapped it for whatever reason. Also, in the code, there's an extra item called Open255, and when it's hacked in, it actually doesn't show up the menus item for whatever reason. And then when you actually try to sell it in shops, it shows up there, and it is a hammer icon, and it doesn't sell for any money. The last thing I actually want to mention is that there might be deleted full motion videos. I say this because the file names of the full motion videos are not in numerical sequence, and while I can't find the cut full motion videos, this is something to take in consideration. I'm hoping one day we actually do get information on this, since I do kind of want to see them, but just keep this last point with a grain of salt. And that's pretty much all the unused content that I could find on the game, and with all this information, I still think it's pretty cool to see exactly what went unused. I still find it odd for a massive JRPG like this that it doesn't have a lot of unused content, and when you compare it to the other PS1 Final Fantasy games, it's just minuscule in comparison. But my only guess is that they actually ended up playing the game out a lot better, and by that point when they released it, it was in the year 2000, so they probably had like a good sense of what they wanted to do and how to deal with the PlayStation 1 hardware. But again, it's only my guess. But what did you guys like about the unused content? Let me know in the comments below, and frankly, I might actually just do a lot more videos, maybe even on the Final Fantasy games on the PS1, like Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and whatever unused content they had. But regardless, thank you all for watching and see you guys later.